Welcome to the Be Yourself at Work cast. In this session, we're going to look at defining your I am values. What makes you you? What is it about your character that makes you unique? What are your USPs? And what are values? Most of us, when we ask you, who are you? You'll say, this is my name, my history, my story, my experience, my CV, where I work, where I live, my family. None of those things actually define who you are. You are not your job role, and you're not actually what other people say about you either. You're also not your insecurities and self-doubts, your upbringing, your religion, your labels. We've all been affected by different circumstances in our lives. And that's the way that we've been brought up and the way that we've lived our lives. But actually, when you think about who you really are, you're a unique character. On the inside of you, you have an inner voice, an energy, a set of thoughts and feelings, an experience of being you, a positive inner consciousness. It is these things and your principles and standards of behavior that make up your unique character, your values. And if you imagine that character, your heart, if you like, your inner world is an orange. When you think about values, if you can define each segment as a separate value, give it a title and description, you can really get amazing clarity on who you are uniquely and then help yourself to feel able to be yourself at work by amplifying those things and being you. We know at Be Yourself at Work that your positivity and happiness can be improved by up to 88% when you can feel like your authentic self at work. But only 16% of us feel that we can really be ourselves at work. But how can we do that if we actually don't know who we are? The other thing to share about values is that we often feel that people don't understand us. But the challenge for most of us is that because we're not being ourselves at work, certainly not uniquely and fully in our best ways, other people actually can only respond to the person that we portray. So if you want people to really get you and to really understand you and to feel close and connected and you work really well together with individuals or as a team, then you need to be you. So the first stage, and where we talk about values, when we talk about being yourself at work, is to define what makes you, your values. So where do you begin? Defining your values is very much an inside job. So we do naturally have a tendency to think that we are sort of more general. You can probably look online and you'll see packs of cards. You could, see a list of 40 different words and cherry pick the values that make you you. But actually, you have a really authentic self within, and that's not your work persona. The vast majority of us have a line that we draw between who we are at work and who we are at home. And we'll save certain parts of our character for home and other parts of our character, the more professional ones that we feel like, will make us look more competent for work. But actually, as a human being, there's no line drawn down you that says, this is me at work and this is me at home. You're you everywhere. On the inside, I'm Liz everywhere. So when we think about values, it's really important to remember that this is about you fully as a person. It isn't you at work or you outside of work or you in certain relationships or circumstances. When you think about defining your values, it's about all of you. And that comes with a real element of authenticity and also an element of reflection and vulnerability, because we're all big softies. We're all making it up as we go along. And that's absolutely fine. To stare into your own inner self and define you is so empowering. But it also takes a level of honesty with yourself about what makes you you. So start thinking about what it is that makes you unique. Your values are what really define different elements of how you go about your world. What makes you happy, what energizes you, how you like to have conversations, the way you think about relationships, the way you plan your days, the way you run projects or meetings, have conversations. Whether you're an early bird or a night owl, these are all things that define your character, that define who you are. So some people like closeness, they like connection, they like relationships, they like to read each other's minds. For others, that kind of sense of togetherness is more about community. It's more about a sense of loyalty and connection as a whole. For others, that closeness might be about caring or giving or being kind or helping out or giving back. For others, it's actually about leading others, and doing things for them and directing them and challenging them and giving them some tough love. I can't even start to begin to emphasize how important it is to not make yourself bland by just kind of cherry picking words out of the air or copying other people's I am values, or just kind of, just defining you based upon one or two simple words. You have a real unique essence and energy. Perhaps it's fun, perhaps it's naughty, perhaps it's humor, perhaps it's serious, maybe it's stable, maybe it's spontaneous, maybe it's excited, maybe it's calm, maybe it's controversy, maybe it's harmony. We're all really different characters. So when you think about defining your values, be really honest with yourself. One of the things that many people ask me about values is whether they should ask other people to define them and help them shape them. So our other halves, our family, our best friends, our colleagues at work. And I always say no, because the challenge when it comes to values is that other people will see you, just like I've already shared, as the person you portray. And for most of us, actually, we're not being fully ourselves, our best selves, particularly at work, okay? But also they will see you through their own values, their own expectations and behaviors and standards and that consciousness. So naturally, when you ask other people's opinions on what makes you you, and defining your values, you're automatically kind of almost diluting your natural essence. To stand in your own character and be you, you are the world's, best expert on who you are. Your self-concept is all about you. So it's an individual journey. If you want to really define the best of you and your character, it's about you defining it rather than other people defining it for you. So your values really make up your essence and your character. They're best defined on your own, and they're also defined as you as a whole individual, not at work and not at home. And we all have different versions, even of the same word. So it's also important to reflect on what each value means. So that's why we have descriptions and titles. So where can you begin? Well, we've given you some free resources at Be Yourself at Work to help you to begin your values journey. The first thing you can do is use the free pop-up on the homepage of the beyourselfatwork.com website. The pop-up has got a little exercise that you can reflect on for 5 to 10 minutes to create 3 really simple values. And you'll see that there's some questions in there that you answer. So it's questions not just related to work, but as I've shared, it's about you. And you'll be asked to define 3 or 4 words for each of those values. You'll then automatically receive an email back helping you to think about how to use those values to amplify your uniqueness and be yourself at work. So that's the first opportunity that you have, just to have a little bit of a play in understanding and defining who you are. There is also the free This Is Me. So if you go on to the free This Is Me page on the beyourselfatwork.com website, you can actually go immediately in and create your own set of I am values to apply for jobs. So when you're thinking about your career and you're looking at applying for jobs on LinkedIn or using your CV or resume with different potential organizations, you can also define your values and use who you are to be recruited rather than just your experience and what you know. This is super powerful because it'll give you the confidence to really reflect on what kind of career role or next step you want, because if you can be yourself in that role, then you'll be happiest, you'll be the most productive, you'll be the best person you can be. You've got the best chance of making your difference because you're doing something that's totally in line with you, with your values. But also you can use it to stand out and be unique. We've all worked for people that have been less self-aware perhaps than they think they are, and so applying for a new role, going in a new direction, or just turning up for an interview and a conversation, if you can describe yourself using your values, you're going to stand out as that rare person who really gets who you are. And your values also can define areas where you perhaps have blind spots, as you'll see if you do the free This Is Me, I am. We can all have a tendency to overdo certain aspects of our values because it's what makes us us. But for example, you might be really into fun and excitement and humor and those things. But if you overdid that, then you could appear to be not taking things seriously, or it could be inappropriate in certain moments. So we all of our values can be overplayed, but particularly the two layers of your I am. And when you apply for a new job role, think about that question, tell me about you, rather than sharing and reiterating where you live and your sports, hobbies, or, what you've done in your career, your education and those things. Tell me about you. Yeah, I will tell you about you. My resume doesn't define me. My CV doesn't make me who I am. This is me. So you can share your values in that way. You can also work with us to get your own I am. So if you're a manager or a leader, anybody can actually work and sign up for with Movement at beyourselfatwork.com to get their own I am with the help of an expert, one of us. We will take you through the process of doing a questionnaire, having a call to define your values, and then a debrief session. And you receive an 8-week experience of I am too. Or you can self-create using the tabs that are available on beyourselfatwork.com. And if you're in HR and L&D or a CEO and you're interested in bringing it in-house, you can even have it in your own branding so that everybody where you work can log on to your in-house LMS and create their I am values. But the point in defining your values is it helps you to feel like you. You can consciously use your values to be yourself in different scenarios. So think about when you open meetings, the way you start your day, the subject lines of emails, when you define your career and think about what you'd like. In your relationships outside of work, over 70% of people say that their I am has changed their lives. And that's because when you have a fundamental sense of who you really are, everything changes. Your confidence shifts. You have real clarity and conviction in yourself. It's that big question, who am I? What am I here for? You're here to be you. So define who you are, define your character, and define your values, and it helps you to be unique. Being you will also help your performance. So we know that people find that their performance is positively impacted by up to 85% when they can feel themselves and be themselves. So start your I am journey, reflect on who you are, make it really clear, really obvious, even if you just start using the pop-up and moving on to the free This Is Me, or define your I am with an expert, or self-created. You will be beginning to really step into you.